It's February 20th, 2014. And Ukraine has been in the news a lot lately. The central square in Kiev looks like it's trashed and like a war zone. Anyway, I've been to Ukraine. And it's interesting to see what's happening there, and I hope that the people fighting for freedom are successful. My own experience with Ukraine in the past was mainly in association with a dating agency in Kiev called Kiev Connections. And then later they orchestrated some blind dates, and later I found a website called Elena's Models, and had a few more visits in association with people I met on there, and also with a cousin of a lady that I met on there. Anyway, all those dates facilitated seeing a lot of things that you wouldn't normally otherwise see as a regular tourist. So that's true, and the dating experiences I had, some women were more normal, some were just interested in getting a free meal from a foreigner, at great expense to the foreigner. Some were just, a few were outright crooks. One or two scamming, thieving, lying crooks. And then I came to my senses and reached out to a friend and hooked up with a woman from China. Much better experience. Much better. China, I think overall, the culture and the women there, much more honest, and, you know, they're going to approach you for the same reason you're approaching them. That's not what you'll, in general, experience with Russian and Ukrainian women who at least hook up with the dating sites. You know, there's a high propensity of women who will not really be honest. Now, there's some who will be. That's true, but a lot won't be. So if you want to go with Ukraine or Russia, you just have to do more homework. And one key thing is she willing to have you meet her family or not? If the answer is no, then she's not serious and you're wasting your time. Also, if the very first thing she wants to do after you go out to dinner is go shopping so she can search for expensive shoes and stuff like that, that's another bad sign. And also, if she asks you for money, if you're chatting with her and she says, "Oh, there's some big emergency, like my friend is in jail, or I had a car accident, or my computer's broken and you need to help me buy a new $1,000 computer," and then she calls you at 3 o'clock in the morning asking for all that stuff, that's another bad sign. You should have gotten out way before that. Anyway, there's a book about Odessa, and about how in the past, in old Odessa, it was a city of thieves. Well, Odessa is still, unfortunately and largely, a city of thieves, even today. But, hey, I guess if you figure, you're a woman who looks nice, what's one big way to make money? Well, just put yourself out there on the internet and pretend like you're actually looking for a real relationship. Cha-ching! It's a good way to get money. So I can see why they do it, but some people are more sociopathic and psychopathic than others, and you have to just watch out for that. In some countries, they have kind of a dysfunctional culture. So I guess maybe in Ukraine, it's the crooks who are in control. And maybe they don't want to be under Putin's boot. In Odessa, I went into a bar, and they were really interested in having an American there to speak to. And this one man who spoke to me for quite a while, over an hour, he said, basically, I'm paraphrasing, we want people outside of Ukraine to view Ukraine like it's a normal country. And I think, I hope that happens for that man and for Ukraine. And I think one key thing is just keep fighting for freedom and get rid of your dictator strongman. Stop being under Putin's boot. Stop making it so that Ukraine is a de facto province or a de facto state of Russia. And it's kind of a strange situation with Russia's hold on Ukraine. It's like, if you wanted to be Ukrainian, why don't you just stay in Ukraine instead of going to Moscow? Let Ukrainians be Ukrainians. Don't try to micromanage them or keep Ukraine and Kiev a province of Moscow. Move back to Ukraine if you want to be Ukrainian. That's the main message I'd have for the Russians who want to keep Ukraine as a province of Russia, a de facto province. Back in the USSR, I guess. That's what the USSR was about. Essentially, the USSR was an extension of imperialist Russia, just by another name. A religion by another name. So, anyway, while I lived in Portland, I did meet a very nice family from Ukraine. So I know that there are nice, friendly, down-to-earth, hardworking people who live in Ukraine. It's just that on the dating front, I would suggest focusing your efforts elsewhere in the first instance. Maybe China. Maybe you could find an American woman. It's possible, I guess, but in my experience, well, I kind of had a unique situation in my case. Most of the women closer to my age, they were either way too fat, or they had already had their kids and didn't want any more. And the online dating sites in America are a huge, huge waste of time. They will suck you dry. They'll suck your emotional energy dry. They'll take your money if they can. Even the free sites will be a huge waste of time and waste of your emotional energy. Don't waste your time. That's my advice. If you can't find someone in America through firsthand, situation, not offline first, then maybe online is okay. But offline first, online is a joke. It's an absolute joke, a complete waste of time. So if you can't find someone offline in America, then, think about a country where they're hardworking and where they're interested in family and good old-fashioned family values, and they're not going to try to scam you so much. So China's a good prospect as far as that goes. Okay? Just some dating advice for you. From me. Okay, have fun. Okay, it's the afternoon on my lunch walk. Just an addendum. And as far as Ukraine goes, I hope they find freedom there. All right. So, anyway, that's that.